Good evening, kids, children. We are going to start English lessons for you during this lockdown period so that we can improve our English while we are at home. So, we're going to start English. First, we must know what English is about. English is a common language that's spoken in most of the Western countries. And of course, in other countries, they learn English as a second language. But we cannot do the same expressions and we cannot do the same sort of sounds that we make like we do with the native speakers. But we shall definitely learn these things as we go on. Now, English consists of different sets of languages. We have 8 parts in English, and which are all 8 parts are useful in the language in any sentence. If you take a sentence, every word in the sentence is composed of one of the 8 parts. If not for the 8 parts, we cannot combine a sentence to give its original meaning. The 8 parts of the sentences are the noun, the verb, the adjective, the adverb, the pronoun, and we have the conjunction, and we have the expression where we always say something that comes to our mind at once. We say, oh my God. These are expressions that we have to learn. The most important in the language, there are only 6. We have the noun, the verb, the adjective, the adverb, pronoun. These are important, and also the preposition. No sentence has a definite meaning if there is no preposition in the sentence. So preposition is an important factor in the English language. For instance, we have 2 nouns, we have 2 subjects, we have the table and we have the book. Now, do you understand what the book does with the table or the table does with the book? No, we don't. Why? We don't have a preposition. Now, if we take the table and the book and add a verb, we say, take the book, the table. Take is a verb, but still the sentence is not complete because we do not have a preposition. So you see how important prepositions are. Let's take for example, if we say the book is a verb, on the table, what do we understand? The book is on top of the table. If we say the book is under the table, what do we understand? We have left the book under the table. If we say a sentence, the book is beside the table or near the table, then the book is not on the table, but it's just close by. So you see how the preposition changes the meaning of the sentence, and it gives us exactly what we want to know. So we shall be doing prepositions as a lesson as we go on. And the most important thing is the verb. If the verb is not in the sentence, we have no idea. The verb is the idea of the sentence. Let's take any verb. We take the verb love, we take the verb eat, we take the verb look, we take the verb play. Okay, these are all verbs. These are infinitive verbs. We call it infinitive because it only gives a meaning, but it doesn't exactly tell us what the situation is. Now, to put the verb in the situation, for us to understand, it has to have a noun as a subject. And always we know that in a simple sentence, the noun, which is plural or singular, and the verb will also be plural or singular. In other words, the verb has to be in comparison with the noun. For instance, we have 2 nouns. We have one noun on the subject and the other noun on the object side. So we have mother and we have father. Now, we need a verb to understand how mother is related to the father. And what is the verb that we're going to put in between? We'll change the verb and see how it works. We'll take the verb love. Mother is singular, so love becomes a singular verb by adding an S, it becomes loves. Now we have the sentence complete. Mother loves father. What does it mean? That mother has some liking to the father. Let's change the word. Let's put play in between. And mother is singular, play is singular, so it has to be plays. So we have the sentence, mother plays with father. Okay, so we understand that mother has some games playing with father. Let's change the verb. Let's put eat. And we have mother singular and we have eats and we have the sentence mother eats father. What happens? What do you understand? You change everything, the idea changes as you change the verb. So we know how important the verb is in the sentence. So we'll be studying about verbs. Verbs have to be studied in detail. We'll be studying about verbs as we go on in the lesson. So I'm just telling you the importance of the parts of speech in the sentence. If we take a noun, noun also has various forms, and in the noun, if you say, we have the simple present, and we have the simple past, and we have the future. Now, the noun can go into simple present, it can go into simple past, it can go into simple future. Now, each of these tenses, we call it, because it's a change of situation, has its own tenses between them. We have this, under the simple present, we have the continuous and we have the perfect tense. Similarly, in the past we have the continuous, past continuous, and we have the past perfect. This is also called the pluperfect. And similarly, in the future tense, we have the future continuous and we have the future past. So these tenses also is very important. It is very useful to us when it comes to speaking. And we have to understand English. We have to be perfect in our grammar. We have to be perfect in placing our words, the verbs and the nouns and the objects in order for us to understand what we are going to speak about in English. And this will help us in our speaking, and it will help us a long way to go when we learn to speak. And the other important thing in English is pronunciation. Pronunciation has to be perfect. Pronunciation is originated from the Western countries, from the native speakers. So we have to understand how these native speakers speak. Now, English is a language, it's a simple language. It was originated in England, and we call them the Saxons, who were the people, simple people who spoke English in simple words, like the sun shines, the light, eat, sleep. These are words that the Saxons used, or the English words were simple. After some time, we had the Normans invaded England, Normans invaded England, and they were noble people. They were the knights and they were kings, and because of their nobility, they had to introduce the French language into the English system. So English had French words incorporated into the language, and we have to learn how to pronounce these French words. For instance, we have the word television. Television, we pronounce it normally. It's actually a French word. The real pronunciation of television is television. And that's how the French pronounces the television. And we have words like restaurant. It's pronounced as not restaurant, that most people do, it's restaurant. So pronunciation is another important factor that we have to study in English. Apart from that, we also have idiomatic expressions. And these idiomatic expressions are very important when we are conducting a speech, or when we are giving a narration, or when we are giving a presentation. We need to know a little bit of the idiomatic expressions. Actually, idiomatic expressions it has no meaning at all, but it has some sort of beauty to the language. For instance, if you are going to say that our house is very old, if you have an idiomatic expression and say our house is as old as the sun, which is better? It's very old or as old as the sun? Thank you, children. We'll see you next time.